One, go. Welcome to episode 10 of What Do You Say Anime? I'm one of your hosts, Adam Baum, the Fatal Otaku, and with me is my partner in crime, as always, Peter. Peter, how are things going for you today?
Oh, everything is going fantastic. Looking forward to talking some anime with you today.
Sounds good. So, we have been watching anime from this last season. We're about 3 to 4 episodes in. We got some hot takes for you today. So, are you ready to just jump right into things with the
let's
first show?
start. Let's go ahead.
All right, the first show we got on the docket today is My Hero Academia Season 4. I don't think there's really much to say about this one so far. If you've watched the first 3 seasons of My Hero Academia, you know this is a show that you're probably watching at this point. But if you haven't jumped into it quite yet, the series or the season starts off with an interviewer showing up to the school and basically trying to figure out what's going on with the next whoever's going to replace All Might here. He's got a hunch that it might be Deku. And it goes on from there that all the students are going to be going into a type of training program under some pro heroes. So, what are you thinking so far of what we've seen this season? I think we're about 3 episodes in.
Yeah, we're about 3 episodes in. It started off like what I expected. Normally, episode one's always that filler episode, and we got that right away. And then, or sorry, like the filler recap episode they've done like every season. And now we're getting transitioning into the Deku's new role with him being in a work study with like the biggest All Might fan of all time. Really liking the villain that they're introducing. They kind of teased him in season three, but I like the fact that he's like working for the Yakuza, or he's former Yakuza, and like his quirk is like it's extremely deadly. Like he touches you, and you kind of like whatever body part he touches kind of explodes. Really liking like the it's a little more gruesome to say compared to a little more. The first couple seasons were a little tame. You saw blood and stuff like that, but you didn't really see like. I mean, this will be like a spoiler, but I'm pretty sure everybody's watching My Hero Academia, where like the first fight scene with the League of Villains and the main villain guy, the guy he kind of just like touches his chest, his entire body explodes, and I was like, whoa! Like I'm used to like All Might punching somebody in the face or having a broken nose, not really having a body explode in my face type of thing. So little over the top, and I'm really liking the direction season four is going.
Yeah, it's definitely going darker, but I mean, we're pulling the Yakuza in, so you gotta expect that things are going to be a lot more gruesome, a lot less tame. It's like they're taking the training wheels off and just how the characters are getting into real business. Like the show's taking the training wheels off. It's like it's not necessarily for kids anymore. I mean, it still is, but we're moving into real, more adult, serious themes, I feel like, and it'll be fun to see where the season goes. There hasn't been a ton that's happened, but they're just laying the groundwork, and I'm looking forward to it. The show's been good the first 3 seasons, so I expect nothing less from the fourth.
Yeah, this is the first season where I feel like the villain is like a threat, or like a threat on their lives, I should say. Where before it's the other villains that they're fighting. Maybe Stain. I mean, Stain definitely like killed people, but this one's like so like I don't know how to describe it. Just such like a um, just like so over the top, trying to like violence of how he can kill people, and I
And I feel
really
like with oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
no no
cut you
no go
off
ahead
there,
go ahead
but
go ahead.
I feel like with by removing All Might from the picture, you don't have that safety net to fall back on where it's like everyone's gonna be fine because All Might's there. I mean, it's kind of cliche to say with
No,
this
that's
show,
true.
but it makes total sense. Like that's how the characters in the show feel, but that's also how what we're getting. It's like they don't have All Might to fall back on, so anyone can die at any point
For
now. It
sure.
feels like.
It definitely has that like mystery element of what's going to happen next because All Might's not there, or what he can use like his power an hour a day still, or is that past that
I
point?
don't even think he can. I don't think he can transform at all at this point.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't caught up the most with like the My Hero Academia lore and stuff like that. So I know that he's either out of power or like extremely low on power type of thing. Where yeah, it's like who's gonna step up and save the day type of thing because All Might's not there anymore.
Yep, and I just like how it reflects back on us, the viewer. It's just like how in the world the characters aren't safe because the symbol of peace is gone. Our safety net where all the characters are going to be fine because they have All Might. We don't get that type of calming feeling because like
Yes.
he's gone.
Yeah, actually, I honestly didn't even think about that until we literally just started talking right now, and now it's kind of like I honestly thought like this season it's starting off like the way it always starts off, and now that I put it that way, like I feel like anything like I can't like not pay attention to an episode because literally anything can come out at any second now. I kind of have that feeling, so I didn't really think about it. Now that we're talking about it, it's like oh shit, like you know what, like this season might actually be kind of like more like out of nowhere type of thing. So yeah, actually now I'm looking forward to My Hero more than normal. Wow, who would have thought? All right, next we'll transition to one of my favorite shows of the season so far, and it's on Funimation, and it's called Africa No Salaryman, and essentially it is a Zootopia type of show where all characters are anamorphic animals, and they live and work as like normal 9 to 5 jobs. It's a pure comedy show, and do not watch this sub. It's one of the only few shows I've ever said do not watch the sub. Actually, it might be the only show I've ever said never watch the sub. The sub is so bad, and the dub is god tier. It's on, like I said, it's on Funimation. I think there's 2 episodes out right now. Not a whole lot to say because only 2 episodes of the dub has came out compared to I think 4 episodes of the sub. But it's just like if you wanted like a Gretzko on crack, this is kind of the show where it's just pure comedy, pure like skits, pure over the top fun. Definitely check it out if you're looking for like a new comedy anime to watch.
So it's not like a serialized show. It's more of like a skit show, or what exactly is it?
So it's like each scene, you get like a 6 minute office scenario, and then the scenario happens, and then they'll move into like a maybe like a 4 minute subway ride, and then like a 6 minute lunch scene type of thing. So it's just like transitions into their like normal office day jobs, but like the main characters are a lion, a lizard, and a toucan. So they just get in like different hijinks with like the lion being like the middle management and him being like king of the jungle, but now he's king of middle management. So it has like the Sahara animal vibe with like the office life type of thing. It's a little different, but it's the comedy and just like the dialogue is just insane. They're just so ruthless and rude and vulgar to each other that it makes the show like such a delight to watch if you watch it in English. The sub, I cannot even explain how bad the sub is.
All right, well that'll be that's one I was wanting to check out because I know you were talking about it online or
Mm.
on Twitter about how good the dub was, and I love watching dubs when I'm gaming and stuff. So will
Yeah,
definitely be one that I'm checking out. And then
you
on
honestly
that's a
could just
Sunday, right?
yeah the like but like the animations are not good. Like the show is pure dialogue. So it is one of those shows where like you could just listen to it while you're like gaming, and it's like the perfect show for that because you could just
Oh, nice.
you could as long as you like get an idea of like who the toucan is, who the lizard is, and who the lion is, then you can like tune your brain out and like play games and watch the show at the same time type of show.
Oh, that's a perfect show for me then.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next show we're talking about is Ahiru no Sora. This one is a not slice life. It's a sports show about a character named Sora Kurumatani, and he is a short, weak kid who's really passionate about basketball. It's his one the one thing like he goes 100% all out for, and he joins his high school basketball team at the new high school he just started at. But the basketball team is pretty much defunct and is full of delinquents, and he is challenges basically the gang leader to some basketball and basically inspires them one by one to to play. And it's actually a really good show. It's not like Kuroko no Basket where they're all using like superpowers and stuff. This is just straight like I haven't watched Slam Dunk, so I don't want to compare it to that per se, but it's more along the lines of a serious basketball show with an underdog story. And have you been watching this one at all?
Yep, I love where this show is going. I was kind of put off by the show because of how slow it started, because I thought that if this was going to be a 12 episodic show that they're going to ramp the last like couple episodes into like one season type of show, but I found out that this is getting 24 episodes, so the slower start kind of made sense. It has more of like a haiku vibe than like Slam Dunk.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I haven't seen Slam Dunk, so I didn't want to compare it
Yeah,
to that. But Haikyuu is a very good one to compare it to.
because the main character is very like he's height challenged, so he's challenged by like people who are taller than him, and they don't think that he can play basketball. But in basketball, you need like a point guard who's small anyway, so it works out. And him just getting like a where instead of like Haiku where they have like a set volleyball team already, this school doesn't really have a basketball team. Like they use the basketball club as like a hangout spot instead of like an actual basketball team. So it's just him trying to get like an actual team together because there's like tall people at a school who have played basketball. So really enjoying like it has like that underdog story, the group of misfits coming together to create a team type of story. And I mean, I'm a sucker for basketball. It's my favorite sport. So I love this show so far. I think it's only going to get better. I'm glad like one of my biggest gripes in like shows period are how characters never grow. Like if there's like a
Oh yeah,
if there's like the so for example like the dickhead in like Sword or not Sword Art, Rising of the Shield Hero, like he doesn't change throughout the show. He's always a dick. Where like in this show, like the two like tall brothers are dicks, but like at least one of them is like seeing this guy like grow as a character, and he's like, you know what, like maybe I should stop being a piece of shit and just play basketball. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like you enjoy playing basketball, and now I'm not gonna be a dick, and now I'm gonna play basketball. And like he kind of like learns to like let his frustrations go through playing basketball. And the other brother, it looks like, and this is exactly where I wanted to go, that he
yep.
doesn't play basketball because he's trying to get a girlfriend. And I think it's leaning more towards, hey, if I play basketball and I'm good, girls will like me type of thing. And that he's probably gonna start playing basketball, which is like that's the role like I wanted him to do because that's like the perfect thing for his character. And
I have a feeling, and this might be a spoiler. This is just me guessing, but like so in like the third episode, because they're all delinquents, they're getting in fights with other like schools over like territory, and now because they beat up on like the delinquents beat up on a bunch of kids that were bullying one of the dudes, they end up in a basketball match with a really good school who's like supposed to be trying to get to the national tournament that year. And one of the captain of the team's like, I wanted to keep playing basketball, and I challenged their school because there's someone there that I want to play against. And I have a feeling it's the older brother. I think he never tried at basketball, and he was just like freaking god tier. And the younger brother, the one who practiced all the time, who couldn't do anything, couldn't make a shot, was the one who practiced and never got any better. And that's why there's like a kind of bad blood between the brothers.
yeah,
I have a feeling that's what we're gonna see here.
yeah, that's a good point. And I guess this is more like another like basketball term, but like a lot of times like the tall people in basketball can't shoot. And I like that the fact that the tall people or the tall brother in this show legit can't shoot. And
oh yeah, he's so bad. It's kind of funny to watch him shoot. He's like throwing it in a straight line right at the hoop.
Yeah,
it's great.
So, and I was like, that's like if you're familiar with basketball, like if you ever see DeAndre Jordan try to shoot the ball, he can't. And they literally like developed a rule for him because everybody would just follow him and make him shoot free throws because he was so bad shooting that they knew that if they put him at the free throw line that he wasn't going to make any of his free throws. So I kind of like that the tall brother can't shoot, but then he's like learning that like, hey, I don't have to shoot. I can just like rebound and dunk it, and it's perfectly fine. And they'll let those small dudes shoot the ball. And so it's like them actually coming together as a team, like figure out your strengths and weaknesses as a team, and like applying that to an actual game. And I was like, this makes sense. Like, thank you for just not being over the top where like every single character can shoot a three and every single character can dunk. It's like, no, this dude's small. He can do layups and pass, and he can shoot. And the tall dude can't shoot. He can dunk it though. So it's like,
And then
perfect.
even have the other delinquents on the team. They're like, we're no good at dribbling the ball, but you know what? Let's just practice passing to each other.
Yeah.
And so they gotten good at that. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like, hopefully they'll learn to do a few other things. But like,
Yeah.
you could kind of see them slowly building, and it's a really good sports show.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those. It's only going to get better. And I, I mean, anytime that we get a basketball anime, I'm going to watch it. So
Same here. And if you do watch this show and you do enjoy it and you want something a little different, I want to recommend Hinamaru Sumo because it's a sumo wrestling anime, but it does the same kind of thing where it's people who are out of their element learning to sumo wrestle.
mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have that whole it kind of has the superpower thing, but like not to the extent that like Kuroko no Basket did where everyone has like a special talent that they can't. Yeah. But I think we've been on this one enough. Let's throw it on to the next one.
Next one is another animal anime that we have going on this year or this season, and it's Beastars. Now, Beastars is another show that's from what I told, I've never seen Zootopia, but my friend said, "Oh, that sounds like Zootopia." So it's carnivores and herbivores are now in like a society together where they live as one, and they have the school drama club where in the first episode, this isn't a spoiler, like this is like the whole premise of the show, where a herbivore actor is killed by a carnivore, but you don't know who the carnivore is. And the main character of the show is Legoshi, who is a wolf, and he is the tallest, biggest student at the school, and everyone just assumes that he is the person who is the murderer, essentially, but like nobody can prove it, and it's kind of like an ongoing situation. And it's just their whole story of them trying to. It's essentially like this happened to me in high school, where like they're essentially just trying to like, how do we continue high school life after somebody died? Like I had somebody in my high school who like passed away, and it's like how do we how does Tuesday happen after Monday just happened and somebody's not there anymore? Yeah. And so it's kind of like it's a very like dramatic show. It is not funny. This is like a legit drama, psychological show. There's some like comedy elements in the show, but it's definitely not. If you're looking for it to be funny, it's not. And we talked about it earlier in like our first like preview one, where this is a CG anime, but it's made by the people who did Land of the Illustrious, so it's probably going to be questionable whether the animations are going to be good or not, and the animations are unbelievable. It's so good. And I believe only 2 episodes are out right now. I think the third either comes out I think it comes out tomorrow. I haven't checked. I looked for it today and it wasn't out, so I forgot exactly what day it came out. But if you're looking for like a serious drama-filled like show, this is legit. I think this is an early anime of the season contender.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I think it's that good. It's just there's no other shows that are like this, like where it's like pure drama, pure story. The character elements are like amazing because they're animals, and it's just something very different and unique. And I like shows that do that. And it's like shows that take risks. This is a show that takes a risk, and I'm loving it every second of it. So I'm looking forward to more Beastars. This is the show that it's in Netflix Japan jail, so it will be on Netflix eventually, but like we don't know when it's going to be on Netflix. So because that happened to like Carol and Tuesday. That was in Netflix Japan jail, and they released 12 episodes, like the first 12 episodes of Carol and Tuesday, like a month ago. So like eventually Beastars will be on Netflix. It's just like it's probably going to be like April 2020.
All right. So you said the main character was a wolf, if I remember correct.
Yep, he's a gray wolf.
Would you compare his character? I know it's different genres, but to like Ryuji from Toradora, where he's like his appearance is giving him like an intimidation factor that he doesn't have.
Yeah, it's kind of it kind of has that.
But much more serious.
I think it's more like Hachiman from My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. Except the difference is this dude is like intimidating, where like Hachiman is like a pansy and nobody's intimidated by him. So it's kind of like he does things behind the scenes where like he's not a bad person. He's like he you know from the first episode that he's not the one that killed the student. Um, he's like trying to like help people. So instead of like him being like they're in like a drama club, instead of him being an actor, he does like behind the stage type of thing. Like he's a producer, and he's always like trying to help other people out instead of himself type of thing. And so it's more of like a Hachiman from My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu, but it does have like that Ryuji type of thing where it's like he's quiet, but like he's a good guy.
Intimidating. Well, the reason I chose that,
yeah, Ryuji's kind of intimidating now that I think about.
The first part of Toradora, everyone talks about how everyone's afraid of him because he has that like mafia boss look to him until he gets the crap beat out of him by like a 4 foot nothing little tsundere. But
yeah, I guess
before that,
I probably lean more towards Hachiman just because like he has this character Ryoshi has like no friends. Where like Ryuji is like intimidating, but like he has friends, people talk to him, people know who he is, like that type of thing. This is just like he's quiet, he doesn't talk to anybody, nobody talks to him, he just goes on with his day type of thing. But he does have like that intimidating factor type of thing.
All right. Well, that actually completely caught me off guard because looking at it and reading it, I expected more of like a comedy, I guess, coming out of it when you have like anthropomorphic animals.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, I definitely did not expect it to be a serious like drama.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one we're moving on to is season 2 of We Never Learn. This one is about a student teacher who's helping out 3 of his classmates to work on subjects that they're not very good on, and eventually turns into the 3 students that he's tutoring falling in love with him. And they've actually introduced a couple more, an ex-teacher and an older student who's taking college prep classes. But this is just kind of a comedy about like I said, it's a romance about tutoring and like you want to jump in here quick?
Yeah,
I know you've seen some of it.
So this the second season of We Never Learn. I liked the first season. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10, and I'm really liking season 2. I like how they're devoting every episode like 12 minutes per episode to like one specific girl, and I like that we're getting like we already know the characters well, but like we're getting to know them more. And now like the last episode where we saw what's the glasses girl's name? I forgot. But
Ogata. Rizu Ogata.
Okay, so Rizu. We see her like changing her appearance and like try to get like the main character's attention type of show where it's like now they're like more branching into the romance element of the show than before where it's like mostly all just setup and comedy, but now it's like, okay, now we're branching into like the role. Because the tan girl definitely had like romantic things in season 1, but like she was really the only character. Now this season it's like way more romantic than the previous season, so I'm liking the way that they're going with that. I really hope they don't do anything with Sensei. Please no, like she's fine as like a supporting character, but that's it.
I don't feel like you're gonna get your wish. I feel like they're all getting there.
And I do like how oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this is definitely turning into all 5 of them having their having their moments. The teacher's definitely the tsundere of the group.
Yeah, I know. I just wish it wasn't. But I don't think I think they pretty much cemented that the purple haired girl, the year older girl, is pretty much cemented that she's not really. I think she like finds the main character like cute, but like she doesn't really have romance. She just likes messing with them type of thing. And I think that like she knows like the other girls like him, and her whole goal is just like to mess with them type of thing. And I just think like thinks of him more as like a play toy than like an actual like boyfriend material type of thing. So I think that it's pretty cemented that she's not going to be a part of the harem. So, there's still, like, I think there's been 3 episodes, so we still have, like, who knows where it can go. And I know, like, the manga's still ongoing, so, like, I know this isn't technically the end of the show, and they might still do another season because they've been pumping out Shonen Jump shows like crazy this year, so maybe we'll get a season 3, but I don't know. The last harem from Shonen Jump was Nisekoi, and it ended at season 2, so we'll see.
Yeah, so who have they had? I think Rizu got 2 episodes.
Yep, and then the tan girl when they were trying to do like
Urika got one,
and
and
then
then Asumi got one.
Sensei got one.
Well, okay, Asumi and yeah, the Sensei and Mafuyu
Yep.
both got half an episode.
Yeah, so the next episode will probably be the blue-haired girl will get like part of the episode, and
Yeah.
then hopefully the story transitions into them all coming together and like having like a storyline, but we'll see.
Yeah, because it's been kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of been like each episode has just kind of been its own like secluded thing. They really haven't had a lot of group episodes, which the first season was all about that because I guess they were setting everything up. You were getting to know each of the characters and like watching things develop. The one thing I will say that I want to point out quick though is Rizu, because her whole thing was that she was really like math smart, but she wasn't good at like reading people.
Yep.
She was kind of like that kudere where she doesn't have like much emotion. She showed a lot more in these last couple episodes, and I like that because they even pointed out that she's like developing. You could see her like being able to express herself a lot more and then understand other people's emotions,
Yeah,
which
for
means some
sure.
things are moving forward.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, the characters are definitely developing as the show goes on, and yeah, I'm just hoping that they continue to develop as the show goes on.
Yep.
All right, next one we have up is called Kimono Michi. It's one of the 6 isekais we have this season. It's about
Are there 6?
there are 6 isekais this season. I don't know how many I'm watching off the top of my head, but this is
I didn't even really
I think I'm watching
consider
like
how many there
I
are.
think I'm watching 3. So it's about a professional wrestler who gets teleported into another world where his love of pets outweighs everything, and so his whole goal in life is to be a pet shop owner in this new world, but it's filled with like demon pets. So he gets like a pet Cerberus, he gets like a magical salamander, like a griffin. These type of characters are these types of animals that he's like taming all together, and he gets like a band of like misfit people. He has like the cat girl and then like the demon girl and like I don't know what else they have in there, but they got a whole cast of characters. Adam, how you liking the show so far?
All right, so I watched all the episodes last night, and it's on Funimation. The first 2 episodes I watched were dubbed, and I loved the first 2 episodes dubbed. It was great. The third and fourth episode, though I was enjoying it mainly because I was already like into the show because of the first 2, I was falling off a bit more, and I feel like that's because the dub is superior to the sub.
I
And
think.
so
Oh, sorry.
I would recommend if you're going to give it a shot, try watching the dub even if you don't normally because I think it's really good.
I think I'm going to give the dub a shot too because of all the shows I'm watching this season, this one's probably technically the worst, and I wouldn't mind trying the dub out to see if it saves the show. I think the comedy is not that good, and some of the scenes in the show are like really rapey. Like it's not like I don't know how to describe it. He like tames his animals, but like in a really weird way because some of the like for instance like the cat lady is like part cat and part human, but like he's not familiar with that, so he like tries taming like a cat lady and stuff like that. But it's like aggressively like petting her, and like the people do not want to be pet at all. And it's like, oh, this is like border in their world, like this is like sexual assault.
All right, so I'll say this then. If that was a turnoff for you, the English turns that up to 11.
Okay.
And so it's like way over the top that you're like, I can't believe what I'm watching. And the voice acting work I think is great because they express that quite like fervently is like I can't believe what's going on. Like when he's petting the wolf in episode 1
Yeah.
and he's like burying his face in the wolf's chest and like scratching it like underneath on his neck, underneath his chin.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sister is just like, get off my brother, you weird pervert. Like,
Yeah.
well, we're sorry, we'll leave you alone. But just the way they react is just feels so genuine that it's hilarious. But if that isn't your thing, it probably isn't going to be any better watching the dub.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still gonna give it a shot. Like, I think I was saying this to you earlier, where like this season has a lot of shows that just like aren't bad. There's a lot of shows that are just like either like average, slightly above average, that type of range. This one's just like an average show. I don't think I'm
Yeah.
gonna drop it, but like I wouldn't mind like giving the dub a shot to see if it's better than the sub, because I honestly don't think the sub is that great. And maybe I'll just wait for the new episodes and not rewatch the old episodes dub and see if that's any better.
Yeah, like I say, if this show doesn't immediately turn you off with something like that, I definitely would recommend at least watching the dub, giving it a shot, because this is, in my opinion, the dub is far superior. If only because like there's the characters saying everything, or all the characters, the background ones, are saying what you're thinking as you're watching it. Like, I have no idea what you're getting on about, but whatever.
Okay.
Like, it's good. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, moving on to the next one. This might be my sleeper hit based on the My Anime List score, and that's After School Dice Club. This is a story of a group of girls that meet up at a board game shop and just play tabletop games. And it's more than just like introducing you to tabletop games, like Dumbbells was with like trying to teach people how to work out. This also actually gets into some like character development, where characters, you're starting to see like their history and like the things that make them tick, their goals and their ambitions, and like what's made them what they are, and like using board games and like friendship to overcome any like traumas and stuff they have. I found some of the scenes like genuinely like tear jerking at times. And I don't know, for a game about, or sorry, a show about playing like board games as its like primary premise, it's really good. And if you like board games, I definitely recommend watching this.
Yeah, I was hoping that it would have like this laid back camp type of vibe from 2 seasons ago, where it's just like cute girls doing cute things. And it's definitely, that's exactly what it is. It's cute girls doing cute things. I like the characters. I like the dynamics of the characters. I like their group that they have. I really like the ditzy fun girl who like can't take a hint but is like so positive. Like there's really not like bad things to say about it. Like, yeah, like you said before, like its mouse score like does not justify how good this show is. Like, I'm thoroughly enjoying every second of the show. I can see like if this isn't your type of show, you shouldn't watch it to begin with. But like if this is your type of show, you will like this show. And I mean, like the only minor things I don't like about the show is the lighting, where like you can see it, the ditzy fun girl. It looks like she has like this spotlight on her head 24/7, and it doesn't change based off like her walking or anything. It's like really minor things like that, but like the dynamic of their squad is great, and the games they play are fun and like interesting, and like I would legit want to play some of these games that they play. So,
Oh, absolutely. So, and I didn't even notice that, but now that you're pointing it out, the spotlight thing, like that is like definitely a thing. I can even see it in like the teaser picture right now.
yeah,
But what was I gonna say? I also think they don't. There's a, even though they focus a lot on the characters, which is a good thing, I almost feel like I wish there was a little bit more time spent in the games, because they kind of just, they show you the rules, they introduce it, and then they kind of jump to the end and like the moral of the story is type of thing. And that's fine and all, but I kind of wish we got a little more of them playing the games, and maybe we'll get that later on.
mm-hmm.
Well, these first few games, I've been like, oh yeah, this sounds really fun. I like to see how they got to the end game before they just like solve whatever it is that they got to do. But that's my only little minor gripe. I actually really love the art to the show, besides like the whole thing you just pointed out with the lighting. I love the design, the character designs, and like the way everything pops. It's very colorful.
Yeah, the like it's literally like only like the lighting thing that I don't like. Other than that, like the characters themselves are, I like them a lot, and like they are beautifully beautifully well drawn. There we go. Trying to spell words too fast. And
Yeah, it has a 6.5 on Mal right now, and I honestly cannot. I would tell people don't take that score as what it is
Yeah,
because it's so much better than that.
I think
It
it's
is at
borderline
least
like
a
an
seven and a
8.
half, 8
Yep.
at the very least if this is your show. And if you really like it, I could see people honestly giving the show a 10.
Yeah, I think I have it like right now it's like a 7, but like that's only because there's only been 3 episodes,
Yeah.
and it definitely has room for doing anything down the road.
Yeah, I think this is of all the shows that I'm watching right now, this has the lowest My Anime List score, and that doesn't nearly compare like tell you about what the show how good the show actually is because I think it's way better than
Yeah,
that.
I agree.
There are a lot of shows I'm watching that are not as good as this. So if you like board games, you like cute girls, you like pretty art, definitely give this a shot.
For sure. Next up is for sure my front runner for anime of the season, and that's Kono Oto Tamari season 2. And I season 1 was like my sleeper pick. Like not many people are watching it, and season 2 is so good. Oh my god, I love season 2 so much. It's about a group. It's like a music club group that plays the Japanese instrument, the koto. It's like a laid down 17-string harp. And the first season is them like coming together as a club and like just like competing, but like not like seriously competing, and just like trying to see like where they rank as like a school. And then they like do like their first competition, and they realize like, hey, we're not as bad as we thought we were. So now season 2 is like ramping it up, where it's like, hey, we should start trying more. We should do this, this, then this, and there's like different elements. And I just love like the low key like relationship between some of the characters in the club. And I love like the music is unbelievable, and the characters are great. Like it can be super drama filled, and then they can cut the tension with like really good comedy in like a millisecond, because like they're just teenagers and they're having fun, but like obviously life happens and some shit goes down. So like you get like a whole element of like everything in the show, and I love it so much. And I wish more people would watch it. It's on Funimation. I think it only has a sub, but since it's on Funimation, it might get a dub. Um, Man, there's if you just like music anime, like this is it has a lot of. I haven't seen Sound Euphorium, but I'm assuming it's kind of like Sound Euphorium.
Yeah, I've only seen Liz and the Bluebird, and that is a how do I want to put it? It's a not a drama, but it's definitely more about a serious topic, not so much like it's a happy go lucky how do I want to
Yeah,
it's a like I guess a drama would be the only way to put it, but it's not necessarily like gloomy.
yeah,
And if
yeah.
Sound Euphonium, it takes place in the same universe that Liz does. So if it's like that, I assume like you're just kind of getting a drama series, a slice of life drama.
Yes, and it's like they know that they're teenagers, and like that this isn't the end of the world if they win or lose like a competition, but they're still like going to like try their best, and like they're still going to like compete to their heart's content type of show. And there's just a lot that goes into it with like being like really close to like I think there's like 8 people in the club, so just like that like bond friendship of having like 8 really close friends, like it has like that really good like group friend element to it, because sometimes there's like you guys are taking stuff really seriously, and there's that one dude screwing around, and they have like that type of element in the show too, where it's like, hey, like we're trying, like if you're all like joke around, like get the hell out of here type of thing. So I love it. It's way more like comedy slice of life than it is drama, but it definitely has like drama elements into it. So I can't recommend the show enough. Season 1 was like an 8 out of 10, and like right now season 2 is like a 9. I think it's so good, and I know like the manga is loved, and I feel like they're doing like a really good adaptation of the show.
All right, that sounds like an interesting one to check out if you're a fan of music and comedy drama slice of life shows. Next one we're jumping into is probably the most not controversial, but like
Ooh.
it's gonna have the biggest split between fan bases. This one is a Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld. It takes place 6 months within the game that they are playing. It's like immediately after the events of in the real world. But anyway, it takes place 6 months after the Pontifex has been killed in inside the world, and Kirito is now in a comatose coma state again.
Good.
And and Alice is watching over him back in what is it, Rulid Village. And the Dark Territories are about to bust down the wall and start killing everybody in the human villages. While this is all going on, we are being introduced to the major antagonist of the arc, and from what people are saying, the best villain of the show. I do not remember his name. It's like it's really hard because it's a super like English name. It's like crap.
Bandit
Now I gotta go.
Keith.
No, it's not Bandit Keith. But he has a very Western name,
Sure.
and I, for the love of me, cannot remember what it was. But anyway, you're introduced to him. You find out what his goals are, why he's trying to get the soul of Alice, so that so basically you're just introduced to the main villain and his objective. Asuna's going to be diving into the world, and we haven't really gotten a lot besides setup in these first 3 episodes. But from what is being shown, the war is about to go 100% in the next couple episodes, so it should be fun if you're an SAO fan. If you're not, stay away because you already know you're not going to like it.
Absolutely.
I don't really need to say anything else about this. Man, I'm super excited for it, but
I tried to hate watch the hell out of the first part, and it did nothing for me. So I'm glad you're sticking with it. I'm glad that we can get your perspective of this one, just for talking purposes.
Yep. And if you guys want to talk to me about SAO, I'm all in on it.
From what you just told me, I have no interest of. I think I watched 17 episodes of the first part. I have no interest of finishing that, so I'm glad that you told me what it's getting into, and I'm glad I'm staying away from it.
Alrighty.
Next one up is No Guns Life, which is a future-based show. Future-based. It's like in the near future where technology is getting so advanced that people are replacing their body parts with... They're essentially becoming androids. The main character has a gun for a head. He was essentially like this military experiment, and he was in like their army, and now that he's living civilian life, he's more of like a private detective now, and just a whole lot of like mischief going on in like a crime-ridden world where everybody's trying to buy like black market like android parts to like their arms, eyes, brain, legs, anything you can think of. It can be like artificially implanted into your body, or like they'll just cut off your arm and give you a new arm type of thing. And there's obviously a lot of like drama, corruption, violence with situations like this that arise, and his job as like a private detective is he's trying to just make the world like he doesn't really want to like make the world a better place. He just wants to make wherever he lives better, so there could be stop being so much crime. And he just like wants to live like a peaceful life, but like shit keeps happening. He's like, fine, I'll deal with it, because he's like one of the most strongest like people based off his. They're called extensions, the like implements that they have to their body. So like he has very powerful extensions. So like he knows that. So he just goes around like fucking people up type of thing, and like. It's done by Madhouse, which is like one of the best like animation studios. They did A Place Further Than the Universe last year, which was like breathtaking, and this one's more gritty, but like really, really well done. Really like the best. It's really gritty, really, I don't know, dark. I haven't really. It's been a long time since I've seen like Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, but it kind of gets that type of vibe of like the future violence type of like android fighting type of thing. So I feel like if you like Ghost in the Shell, you're probably gonna really like No Guns Life.
All right, they're both are series I have not touched, so I can't really speak for either of them.
Yeah,
but yeah,
like this one's so good. Like this is, I probably like every season I probably do like 3 like anime of the season contenders. This is probably like third, and for like anime of the season contender.
Oh, nice. So it's definitely a
It's
recommendation then from
so
you.
so good. If you like the genre's seinen, so it's more gritty, more like bloody. So like Vinland Saga right now is a seinen. Like Attack on Titan. I think even though I think it's technically a shonen, it's more seinen than shonen. So if you like those type of shows, you're really gonna like No Guns Life.
All right, sounds good. Oh, so the next one we're going to be talking about might be, at least for me, one of two shows that I am most torn on how I feel about it. And this is Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. The premise is a goddess, Lestarte, summons a hero to save a world, but the hero that she summons is completely off the wall cautious about absolutely everything, to the point that he has 3 sets of armor. He spends all his money on items. He spends day after day after day training, like just doing push-ups, sit-ups, as much workout as he can before he even adventures off into the other world, along with like just going 100% on even the weakest of enemies. My biggest issue with the show, because it is funny, my biggest issue with the show is the art. I can't tell whether I love what they're doing with the art or absolutely hate it. And my reason for saying this is when they do facial animations, especially for the goddess who is
Yeah,
pretty much Aqua.
she is Aqua.
So she's pretty much Aqua from Konosuba, but whenever they do her facial animations, they do a really good job with with the art style they have of exaggerating everything. But when they're taking things serious or not doing those exaggerated scenes, the art comes off as really cheap.
Yeah, it does.
And like I said, it works well when they're using it to their advantage, because it kind of like the cheapness of the art plays into the comedy. But when they're not doing that, you can really see just like things that are off, with like eyes being like out of proportion or in weird spots on the face. Just small things like that, that when, if you're not paying all that much attention, aren't that big a deal, but when you're looking out for them, you catch it all the time, and it really takes away from it. But it's still a fun show, and the hero is, I thought I knew all like the jokes they were going to make with him being cautious, but they take it to an extreme. Like I can't, you can't even predict at times. At least I wasn't able to, which I really enjoyed. Like I don't want to spoil anything for people, but I'll just say that they take it to extremes that it's like, wow, they really went above and beyond with how far he is willing to go to make sure that he always wins.
Yeah,
I don't know. How did you feel about it?
yeah. Like you said, they take cautious to like a whole nother level, but that's my biggest gripe with the show. I think right now the show is like, I'm enjoying it. It's funny. Like the situations that they get into are like pretty good, like comedic. The only problem with this show that I feel it's going to happen down the road is the punchline is always going to be, ha ha ha, he's cautious. So like it's never going to be anything dynamic. The answer is always going to be he's cautious. So he's always going to do like for instance, like trying to kill something, he blows it up like a gazillion times. So like it's always going to be like that line of like cautiousness. It's like he's always going to do a million sit-ups. He's always going to do this. So it's like it's funny right now, but is it going to be funny episode 9 when I've already seen it?
Yeah.
And that's my biggest concern. Right now, I think the show is perfectly fine. I think, like, compared to the other isekais we've had last season, the show is perfectly enjoyable for, like, most fans. This is, like, Konosuba Light. So it's, like, I get, like, the funny kind of... It has, like, parody elements in it. That type of, like, fantasy isekai genre of comedy. It's not as good as Konosuba, but like,
oh no,
it's a nice little like, I don't know, shut your brain off and laugh type of comedy. Like this is a perfectly enjoyable show. I like my only issues is what's it going to be like down the road. And like you said with the art too, like they pick and choose their scenes where they want to like make the art good. Like when they have like the facial expressions of the goddess and she's like, what? and her face all like distorted and everything. And it's crazy over the top. Like that's hilarious. But then it's like normal scenes, like one eye is above the lower eye. It's like, okay, well, like you did double check the art before you did this, so it's pick and choose on the art, which is fine going into this type of show. Like, I'm not expecting like groundbreaking art, so like it's not really like a big detail to me. So for the most part, this is a very enjoyable, solid show.
Yep. I said there if you'll kind of know going into this if you like that Konosuba vibe, you're not going to get that level of comedy and that like it's not that good, like Peter said, but
Yeah,
it's an enjoyable show, but you do have to worry that the art and the comedy is going to possibly wear off later on. Like there's only so many ways they're going to be able to make the same joke funny. And a lot of the times I didn't even find those jokes funny. It was the stuff I didn't see coming, like with his stats. Like they played it very well into like one of the big reveals. I'm like, okay,
that was
they
cool. Like
thought
that,
ahead.
like he's even cautious around the goddess that he's like. I'm not going to spoil it because it's actually
Yeah,
kind of a big thing. Where like he's cautious about literally every single person, whether they're like good or bad, and like
yeah.
he's overly cautious. Like it makes sense.
Yeah, and that's where the funny parts come. It's where when he takes it to the extremes, like he doesn't trust even the people that have been helping him out this whole time. He still thinks they might be spies or turned into a zombie
Yep.
without him noticing. Just stuff like that. You're like, okay, that was good. But the I'm gonna blow up the slimes 500 times with hellfire magic. It wasn't funny the first time, and it definitely won't be funny when they do it the 20th time in
That's
episode.
my biggest concern. Is how many times is that slime situation going to happen with like different like enemies or creatures he has to battle type of thing. But we'll see when we get there. As of right now, enjoyable show.
Yep.
All right, next up we have Ore wo Sookie. This is a terrible picture I have, but it's a like a counter harem where the main character thinks like these different girls like him, but actually all the girls like his best friend. And then a random girl likes him, and then his best friend likes the girl that likes him. So you get like a love quadratic or like a love diamond, and everyone's all over the place. I thought the show was just gonna be like harem etchy trash, but like it's legit like super funny. It's way better than I thought it has any right to be. Most of the characters are just like awful people, but it's fine because everybody's awful, and it like works out. And like it's like if like two negatives make a positive, but in this case it's like six negatives make three positives, and it like works out. And the dynamic between the whole cast and crew is really good. How they set up like the next couple episodes are going to be very interesting to see how the show goes. I've heard that the next couple of episodes aren't as good as the first three, so I'm really like hoping that that's not true because I thoroughly enjoyed the first three. This is from like last season we had Hensuki, which I think is one of the worst shows of the year. This is like a much better Hensuki, where it's like a little etchy but not really. It's just more of like a comedy school romance type of show, but like everybody sucks type of thing.
Yeah, that's actually so I read part of the manga going before this about probably about 6 months ago before this came out, and that was actually what turned me off originally was I didn't get far enough in to see how some of the other characters were, but the main character was to from what they show is just like he set this whole thing up to try to get the girls to fall in love with him. So it's almost like he's setting up his childhood friend and like the class president or whatever to like fall in love with him so that he can start a harem. And I'm like, that's really douchey.
Yeah.
But if everyone else turns out to be like a bad guy and no one kind of ends up getting what they want, it sounds like that actually might be something worth watching, and I
Yeah,
might give it another try. But I was originally never got to the point where I found out anything about any other characters. I was just like, heh. So the main character that I'm supposed to quote unquote be rooting for is kind of a total tool. Like I don't know if I want to watch a show about him hurting people or attempting to like manipulate people like that, especially if they're cute girls that are haven't done anything wrong. But if they're also terrible people, then well,
Yeah, because it's like he wants to use them, they want to use him, other people want to use those groups, and it's like it just all comes together where it's like everybody sucks, and then it gets to a point where like everybody sucks, and then right now that we're kind of at that, I don't know like what's going to happen next, but we're kind of at a point where like everybody knows they suck, and like maybe they'll try to be better people, but we don't really know. So we'll see as the show goes on.
all right. So the other show that I was mentioning just a bit ago, where it might be like not my favorite of the season. It might turn out to be great, but it also could be like the worst show of the season for me. Is Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life? So the main character is a girl reincarnated into a fantasy world where she's given one thing that she can bring with her, one wish essentially, and she asks for abilities to be average because in the regular world, or the world she was from, she was too perfect and didn't have a regular life, so she just wants a regular old life. But this wish somehow backfires like a cursed monkey paw, and she ends up being completely overpowered for spoiler reasons, but she becomes completely overpowered, and she's trying to just pretend to be a normal girl. It can be funny at times, and I actually think the art is really nice in this one, but I don't know how much real plot there's going to be to this show. It seems like it's just kind of a cute girl or a cute group of girls trying to be adventurers while one of them is completely badass overpowered. How did you feel about this one?
Yeah, it's like cute girls going on an adventure, and like I guess like to branch off of like how she's so OP is like when she like dies and meets the god or whatever, she has to be average, and he takes it as average of a god. So she is 50% of the power of the elder dragon, which is like the most powerful creature in the world. So compared to a god, she's half the power. She's a demigod essentially. Her power level, and so it's just like cute girls going on an adventure. Like some of the like I really like the healer girl of the group, Pauline, I think her name is.
Yep.
Of how she like watches the main character in the show. I think like her friend's call her Mile. She like creates like a Miley, yeah. She creates like a doll, and they don't have dolls in her world. So then Pauline notices that, and so she profits off of making like these dolls out of like their figurines. And I like love that character where like she's like hustling because she's poor, I think, in the show, and she's like looking for ways to make money. So I like her aspect of it, but then all the other girls are like stereotypical trope. The blonde knight is like darkness minus the like sexual like sadistic side of her, and the redhead's just like the cute explosion girl like Megumin, but like not as cool. It's just like cute girls going on like an RPG adventure. It's fine. It's average. Like make my abilities average in the next life. How about we make the show average in the next life because it's just an average show.
Yeah, I do like you bring up a good point with was it Pauline?
Pauline's the healer, yeah.
Yeah. Like the one girl, she has memories from her past life, so she like created like little nendoroids.
Yeah, Nendoroids, yep.
Of some of the characters that she remembers from like Earth. And then she starts like carving characters of them. Like she made little dolls of all of them, but they're like Nendoroid figures. And so Pauline like takes this idea, and because she's like a merchant's daughter, she like turns into like a prophet. And like she's the one character that I actually feel like you said, is really good. She's funny. She's also like has that sadistic like side. Like she's way smarter than she lets on. And like whenever they need someone to be cold and calculating, she's the one who does it. But she's also the sweet healer.
Yeah.
So like no one sees it coming. But then like yeah, everyone else pretty bland, generic. And the show could, like I said, it could be funny. It could continue just to be completely average. But I could also see this just like not getting any better from where it's at and just going off the cliff and diving. So it's fine.
Yeah, they do like the cliche like she doesn't really want to fight, or whatever, but then they make fun of her breast size and she gets really pissed. It's like, okay, like, all right, we've seen this like 1,000 times, so it's like that part's just like, whatever. But like some of the elements are fine. It's an average show.
And they do good jobs with references and callbacks. Like you'll see like little references to like other anime and stuff that they won't like straight out say, but they'll give you just enough to be like, "Ha, I know what you're referencing there."
Yeah, they do like who's like the objection.
They do a Phoenix Wright joke.
They have a Phoenix Wright joke in the show. I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, there's small things like that like if they continue with that and they like the callbacks are classy to like other games and anime, like it'll be enjoyable. And I hope that's what it stays, because I don't feel like I'm gonna drop it, but if it just completely tanks, it wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah, I just hope they like move away from some of the cliches, but knowing this show, they probably won't. Like I said, like you said, I probably won't drop it, but it's probably gonna be like a 6 out of 10 type of show.
Yep.
Next up, season 4 of Food Wars. Probably won't go much into this since everybody knows what Food Wars is, and it's kind of the same show except now they're doing like a winner takes all type of thing against the Elite 10, and it's like the group of rebels versus the Elite 10, and they're doing like team shogekis. That's it. They just do team shogekis right now, so nothing has really developed other than dope ass food and people like jizzing their pants over eating meat. So if you like Food Wars, you'll like season 4. If you've never seen Food Wars, you should probably watch the first episode. Not much to say. Nothing's really happened other than shogeki. So if you like Food Wars, check it out.
All right, and so we got 2 more coming. The next one, Assassin's Pride. This was the one going in I thought was going to be... I actually put off watching it because it's from EMT Squared, which are the people behind Love Tyrant.
The worst anime of all time.
Love Tyrant?
No. The Blessing of Einhar and something of Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah, Blessings of the... Yeah. Blessings of... Ragnarok and the Blessings of the Einhar, whatever the hell that show was. However... I'm enjoying this show quite a bit.
Okay. I have watched the first episode, so I want to get your take on it.
All right. So it gives you this, it's kind of what Ari Ferreira should have been, I guess. It's not going to be like some masterclass thing, but anyway, the premise of the story is Kufa is an assassin who is hired by a noble to watch after his daughter and train her to use mana so that she can... Basically, she's at school. He has to train her to use mana. If she can't activate mana before the end of term, he's supposed to murder her. And it's not explained terribly well, but the aristocrats are the only ones who are able to use mana and to fight monsters. And the noble that hired him, his wife had an affair, and it's possible that the daughter or the girl that he's raising as his daughter might not be his daughter at all. And if she doesn't have mana, that would confirm the affair or confirm that it isn't his daughter. And then he needs to wipe her out so that basically to protect the name and to keep this all hush-hush about what's going on with their family. But the main character, who's like a cold, calculating assassin, starts to like grow an attachment to the girl and how hard her life's been. And so he gives her the ability to use mana so that he doesn't have to murder her. Like I said, it's kind of what gives me an Ari Ferreira vibe with the art style and stuff. And I don't know, I find the show more enjoyable than that, probably because I can understand it and give a crap about some of the characters because they're not so cardboard that it's unwatchable. I actually really like the girl in the show, Marietta, something like that. Marietta. She's cute. She's like a little blonde. She kind of reminds me of like a Juliet type of character.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that from Boarding School Juliet.
Yeah. And so she gives you like this Juliet vibe, and she obviously is smitten with her professor who's teaching her how to be a swordswoman. I'm not really sure where it's going to go. There's some cool twists that come in about episode 3 that are actually so obvious that it hurts, and they're so in plain sight that I didn't even see them coming because it was so obvious. But I won't spoil it
Okay.
because I think it's actually that good because it's so cookie cutter and obvious that you can just ignore it. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I think it's probably, as a show and as a whole, it's not as good as probably uh what was it? OP. The hero is OP
Oh
but
yeah.
overly cautious. Uh I don't think it's as good a show as that, but I enjoy it far more. I don't know if
From what
that
I
says anything.
when I watched episode one, like because I at least want to give like shows a shot. And going into this, I already had like the idea of I was going to hate this show. And after episode one, I was like, this is the type of show where like this is gonna be like my guilty pleasure type of
Yep.
show. Like boarding school Juliet, like that type of show. Like that's just like a my like guilty pleasure. Assassin's probably kind of had that feeling. I'm probably gonna wait for it to have like more episodes out so I can like binge it rather than watching it week to week.
Yeah,
But
that's definitely a decision I would make if you haven't started it yet.
yeah,
Because it's definitely that kind of show. It's not going to be something you're going to be sitting on pins and needles for or even really want to. But if you have an afternoon,
yeah, and it's like maybe I'll watch it. Like I don't know. I don't have high hopes, but I'm probably still gonna watch like I'll watch like the next like maybe when there's like 6 episodes out, I'll watch like 5 episodes and see if I like it or not. Because
it's
I can see where some of the routes they might take, I would like it, and I can see some routes where, like you said, if they do some like cookie cutter bullshit, I'm probably gonna drop it. Like there's just so many shows out where like I have to like pick and choose with my time. So
yeah, there are a couple things I do want to point out about it too, though. There's two things that I think will be the biggest turnoff for people. One, they jump in time a lot, like things they don't feel are important. Like there's a tournament in like episode 3 that they only show you one round of the tournament because that's the only one that's important, and then they show the next match and how it ended,
okay,
and that's it. Like, you don't get to see anything else. Like the tournament is over in half an episode.
gotcha.
So if they do a lot of jumping, they also I think in episode 2 jump like a 6 months or 6 weeks or something time period. Like there's just to the end of term, and they don't show any like training, so they just cut out the fluff, which for some people that might not be, they might not enjoy that because it feels like it's jumping way too much. But if you don't want to watch the training montage, it's not there. And then also they don't straight out explain how the classes work, like the aristocrat class, but also like the different classes like paladin, assassin, like I forget the other types of classes that they have, but they don't explain that because everyone in the world kind of already knows it, so they don't see the need to just kind of, oh, for the viewers watching, let me just explain this to you, even though you already know the characters of the show already know what's going on. They don't need it explained, so they just kind of feather stuff in that if you can piece the stuff together yourself, you'll figure it out. So it's works in terms of like the scene of the show, but as a viewer, you might feel like you're kind of confused because they're not straight out explaining things to you. They expect you to just piece it together from what the breadcrumbs they leave.
Gotcha. I like shows that do that too.
All right. And the last one we're going to talk about today is Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun. This one I picked because I loved the art style to it. It has like a Western kind of cartoon vibe to it, but it's about a kid named Iruma whose parents are completely irresponsible, and they make him do all the work, and eventually they're scrapped for money, so they just sell him to a demon. And the demon that they sell him to happens to be like a very, very powerful demon who is in charge of some kind of or some kind of school. And he's like the principal or whatever. And Iruma is going to be forced to be the grandson of this demon and go to school with demons, even though he's a human. And it's kind of him trying to navigate the demon world without raising suspicions that he's human, while everybody around him, if they found out he was human, they'd kill him. But he always seems to, instead of trying to keep a low profile like he's trying, he ends up causing some kind of chaos and becoming like notorious around the school for being badass, even though he lucks into everything that he does. It's a really funny show. I'm enjoying it. I think I have it like an 8 right now.
Wow.
7 or an 8. But it wasn't something I expected to really like. I was gonna watch 3 episodes and drop it. But the characters are really funny. Like the world is actually really unique and the art is beautiful. I love the cartoon style. I use cartoon in like the Western sense.
Sure.
The cartoon style art that they have to it. It's really like bright and poppy for like what's supposed to be the demon world. Everything's really like vivid, which is kind of like contrasting like ideas. But it's a really good show.
Where's this
really
streaming
funny.
on?
Crunchyroll.
Okay. I might actually check it out then, because I legit thought you were going to trash it.
No, it's a good show.
All right. Well,
it has a 7.5, so other people seem to agree that's a pretty good show.
Right on. Awesome.
Like, it's definitely not serious in any way, but it's kind of just like, I'll just give like a early on first episode. Because he's the new transfer student, he's told that he has to give a speech to the class, and he ends up like stepping on the foot of Asmodeus, I believe it is, like an up and coming demon who, if you know much about like demonology or anything like that, Asmodeus is one of the demons from like, was it the Solomon or King Solomon's Key or whatever. But
no idea.
All right, it's not all that important. It's a famous demon name, but Asmodeus is like an up and coming student who's like top of his class, and they end up in a duel. But because he has some kind of ungodly luck, he ends up winning the duel and imprisoning Asmodeus to be his slave. And so like he's already like made a name for himself. Episode 1, and he's got like this servant who's absolutely badass, and it's just kind of stuff like that where he lucks his way through everything.
Okay, that actually sounds like a good show. I might legit actually check this one out. Next, we'll be jumping into our off-the-cuff segment, but before that, this is the first podcast that I'm streaming on Twitch, and I actually got a viewer question off Twitch. So, Adam, this is for both of us. Are there any good female sports anime out there that you would recommend?
Oh, good female sports anime. Ooh, that's a good one.
The first one that comes to my mind is Hanibado.
Oh yeah, that's the
badminton
one. Yeah,
definitely recommend Hanibado. To be honest, I don't really know much more, because I think we had this discussion with when we had Cinderella 9 like 2 seasons ago.
Oh yeah,
that there really aren't that many good like female representation in sports anime. And Hanibado is the one that most recent that came to my mind, and that one was a legit good show.
Yeah, I'm trying. That same season, they had the volleyball one that wasn't very good. They had Kaijo, but that's like super fan servicey. That was a couple of seasons before, but people really liked it, and people like, I guess Kaijo even became a freaking sport because of the show.
Yeah.
So like, I never watched that one. Hanibado was good. I'm trying to think of anything else though. Like a track and field one. I mean, I watched Suzuka. That one has like track and field and like high jump in it, but that's more of a romance.
If you can't
I can't think of one off the top of my head, but maybe that's something we should go into. Try to like come up with an answer for that for next week.
Yeah, it's an underrepresented like genre.
Okay, well, let's do this then. How about first we come back next week with any answers and we can come up with one, doing some research. But if you were to make a sports anime about female characters, what sport would you pick?
I think field hockey would be really cool. Just
field
because
hockey?
I think not many people play it, not many people know it. You could turn it into like a really dope anime and pique people's interest. I think that'd be a really cool idea. It's field hockey.
Yeah, field hockey's good. I wish Cinderella 9 was better.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
turned out to
yeah.
be more of an idle one too,
Yeah.
which
Like a league of their own baseball would be fucking sweet.
yep.
That'd be so good. Okay, but now let's actually transition to our off the cuff segment, which is a segment where I ask Adam a question, he asks me a question. We have no prior knowledge or what the other person's thinking, and we just come up with the answer off the cuff. So first I'll go. Adam, my question to you is that with anime that's getting more and more mainstream popularity and more eyes are on the product, what current show or movie would make a great transition into anime and be a legit product?
I mean, did we not just answer that question a second ago?
If that okay, maybe you could. That's just like a
No,
female sports question.
I
But
know.
like,
I was just saying, like, yeah, that could be the answer. A
that
League
could
of
be
Their
the
Own
answer.
turned into an anime right there. Um,
Oh yeah. So how
but
about an answer that's
Stranger
not?
Things.
Oh,
I would like to see Stranger Things, or like, I think that could work really
I
well.
think that'd be amazing. Actually, now
Or
that you say
even
that.
if it's not an exact copy of it, but that idea translated into an anime. Also, I had another one. I'm just spaced on it. Like, you know how there's been a bunch of those like serial killer like documentaries coming out? I wish I could remember the name of the one I was watching not too long ago, but it was about like guys who are interviewing, like they
Oh,
created like
Mindhunter.
Mindhunter.
Yeah.
That's it. Mindhunter, but turned into an anime.
Yeah, because they
That
have
kind of
like
premise.
Monster is like a serial killer anime. Then that's like beloved by everybody. So I think that'd be a really good genre to like jump into as well.
Yeah, I think those two would be my answer. Mindhunter and Stranger Things.
Great. I think I think Stranger Things was a fantastic answer. My answer was Fast and the Furious. I think that'd be insane
Oh yeah,
anime.
that'd be cool.
Just
That's a
how
great set of.
just like how ridiculous they're getting, and like Hobbs and Shaw, the newest one, just they're getting more and more and more ridiculous. I think that could be an awesome anime.
I wonder if you could do something like Rush Hour then too.
Ooh,
Turn that.
Copcraft.
Yeah, that's true.
Copcraft.
Copcraft is Rush Hour.
Yes, it is.
Maybe that's why it popped into my head because I know you've made that comparison on an episode.
Watch Copcraft.
All right, so my question for you, Peter, what is the show or shows from a genre you normally don't enjoy, but you found enjoyable for that one or that series of shows? So for
Ooh.
me, I'll just give an example. Like I don't watch mechs, so like all the Gundams and
Okay.
stuff like that. I've never done it for me, but I loved Gurren Lagann.
That's good.
But
I think I should say fucking hate. I hate harems. I think harems are so bullshit and so like unreal. I know anime's like whatever, like a gateway into like your imagination or whatever you want, but like harems are so like dumb, and most harems are just so cliche and dumb and just terrible. But like right now, We Never Learned is a great harem. Quintessential quintuplets, a great harem.
High
Uh,
School DxD.
High School DxD, amazing. That's just a good show. And then like kind of like Bunny Girl Senpai was a little haremish. I think how it's like transitioning into it, but like at least that one, or in like the Monogatari series, there definitely has like those are shows where like they have multiple love interests, but like the main character actually chooses one, which is I'm a big fan of. Instead of like
Yeah,
the 12
it's
episode run
nice
around.
when when you have a harem-esque show that the main character doesn't just stay wishy-washy the whole time. And you know, a show that does do that, Sword Art Online, main character totally picks the girl right off the bat.
Okay, well, Sword Art Online sucks, so we're not going to get into that. But I will say that the romance element in Sword Art Online is good. A lot of the other aspects of Sword Art Online
I'll take
are
it.
terrible.
I'll
So,
take it.
so yeah, mine is definitely harems, and I legit think my favorite harem is Quintessential Quintuplets. I love that show.
I have a figure coming in December.
Yes, I cannot wait. All right. So that's our off the cuff segment. And last, we're going to end the podcast with a game of anime 20 questions. So what I do is this time I'm picking an anime, and Adam has 20 questions to guess the anime that I'm thinking of. So, Adam, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
All right, we're gonna start off with: is it a harem?
No.
All right, not a harem. Is it a romance?
Yes.
Okay, we got a romance. Um, does it take place in a high school setting?
No.
No.
Not a high school setting.
All right.
Like a
Doesn't
not.
mean
I'm gonna say
doesn't mean
not
there's
in
not high
not
school in it, but there's just
not
not
at a school.
not at a school. Ooh. Um. Do Is there supernatural involved?
No.
No supernatural. What is that?
That's
Three,
4.
4, 4. Um.
And make
Does
sure
it
you
take
have seen
place?
this. You
Oh,
have seen this.
I was gonna say that's my next question. Have I seen this before?
Yes. 5.
All right. Does it take place in a workplace environment?
No.
Not a workplace environment. Is there a video game aspect to it?
No.
No video game aspect.
7.
Oh, wow. Is the lead character a male?
I can't.
Is there a let me rephrase this. Is there a singular male lead character? So there's only one that is obviously the lead. If not, then no.
Yes.
There is a singular male lead. Okay. Did this come out in the year 2015 or later?
No.
It's before 2015.
That's 9.
Is this a shonen?
No. It's not classified as a shonen.
Ooh. Ooh. Now you're really throwing me for a loop. Not in school, not in a video game world. Doesn't involve supernatural. So there's not ghosts or demons or stuff.
No ghosts, no demons.
Da, da, da. Are there multiple females that are potentially in love with the main character?
No.
Wow.
I know, right? A rarity.
I know. I'm really. Well, that throws me off.
You're at 11.
I'm at 11. Ugh. Are the characters in this show teenagers? Or would they be high school students at least, even if it's not in a high school?
I can't answer that question.
Would they be students at all?
It's how you're phrasing the question.
Are the of the... Oh, wow.
It's
Are they older than 18? The characters in the show? The main couple in the show?
Let me check real quick.
Let me check. Damn. I really don't know where I'm going with this now.
Yes and no.
So one's older than 18, one is not older than 18.
That is correct. 12.
Does this involve mental illness at all?
Ooh, I can't answer that because I think it's one of those things where I think somebody could definitely see it that way and other people could see it not that way at all.
I'm just gonna ask: is it Welcome to the NHK?
It is not Welcome to the NHK.
Well,
That's a good guess, though. That's a very good guess.
uh,
You're at 13.
doesn't take place in school, so it can't be Kimi no Na wa. Is it a movie?
Yes.
It's a movie.
14.
Wow. I am really, and I've seen this.
According to your My Anime list, you have seen this movie.
Oh great! Now I'm gonna be dumber. There's no supernatural. What the heck? What movies have I watched? It hasn't come out from 2015 or later, right?
You said that, and the answer was no.
Yeah, it was earlier than 2015.
That's correct.
What we determined. Okay. How many questions am I at?
You're at 14.
At 14. Holy crap. So you have
6 guesses left.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of movies I've watched and not recently. Is this a Ghibli film?
Let me double check real quick, but it is not.
I think you might have me stumped then, because I'm...
You got 5 more guesses.
Yeah, 5 guesses for a show that I've watched and should definitely know, or movie I've watched. Show. Yeah, movie I've watched. It's not... Yeah. Oh! What is the name of this?
I think you got it.
Is one of the love interests a teacher?
Is she a teacher? Let me double check. I'm pretty sure she's a teacher.
Is it Garden of Words?
It is Garden of Words. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was thinking about it the wrong way because I was thinking, what movies had I watched before 2015? I watched that like 6 months ago.
Came out in 2013.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, this is gonna be one where I know you've seen it. It's very popular, but
it's really good. I liked that one.
I did not.
You didn't like it?
No, not really. I didn't really like some of it, so I gave it like a 7, I think.
I have an 8.
Okay. So. All right, well, that's close enough. Okay, well, that's all wrap up our episode 10 of What Do You Say Anime. I'm starting a new project for the next couple of filler episodes. Adam, if you want to think of something, I'm doing the top anime of the decade.
Oh, wow.
And I'm doing it based off of like cultural impact, like genre impact, or just like overall good show. So be looking for that in the next coming weeks. Other than that, that wraps it up. If you want to follow us on Twitter at What Do You Say Annie. That's What Do You Say ANI on Twitter. Or you can contact us at whatdoyousayanime@gmail.com.
Yeah, make sure to leave a comment and vote on the video. It helps us be able to spread the show around to people. The more interaction the video gets on YouTube, the more that the YouTube algorithm's able to spread it out for people to see. So if you enjoy it, if you have critiques, any of that stuff, leave it below. Any type of feedback really helps.
Yes. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, it's if you give us a rating and a comment, that would also help the algorithm a lot. So if you're listening there, please do that if you can. Other than that, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.